Meeting to order. First up today, we have an offer to purchase lot 62, unit 6. Holly Field. And we'll turn the floor over to Ms. Tucker.
Good afternoon. So we've had an offer to purchase lot 62, Holly Forest, and it's a rather small lot. It's only 0.46 acres. It's almost to the Transylvania line, as you can see here. And they are 3240, which is what we have in it. And Tabitha's recommendation is to go ahead and take their offer as well, that these lots sell from anywhere to 10,000, 18,000, 4,000, 3,000. So if you would like to go ahead with it, then we can put it on the agenda for the next meeting. Yes. Yes. Any other questions or discussion?
I think, is there consensus to put this lot back on the market? We'll move it to the voting meeting next week. Thank
Sound
you.
good? All right. Thank you, guys.
Moving on now to number 2, it's Life Change Challenge of Western North Carolina. And Mr. King.
So we have received a request from Life Challenge of Western North Carolina to help with their water situation. Currently, this organization gets water from adjacent property owner, and that spring is no longer viable. There's a lot of issues with it. One of our inspectors actually brought this request in, and he went and looked at it, and they really need a well. And so he is engaging different well companies to maybe give a better price on like a per foot cost. And but they are requesting funding from the county. As far as the program itself, it is a women's shelter, but a place for drug and alcohol rehabilitation. And so I didn't get any statistics on the amount of folks from Jackson County utilizing this service. A lot of these programs offer these services for people from outside the county, and then our folks go to a different place too. So anyway, did want to bring this to you to see what your thoughts were on it. We do have monies available in the community development part of the budget, in the current year budget. And so we wanted to get this in front of you as quick as we could if you want to make to look at doing a project with them, try to get their water back operational. So.
Any questions for Mr. King? I mean, I think it's a win for our community. I'd like to know, kind of how many Jackson County residents they serve in a 12-month time. And then obviously we need to know the cost of the wells. I think it's a win in general. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we know anything about neighboring wells, like depth or current flow rate or anything like
We
that?
don't. We can look into that and try to figure out. I would just recommend up to a certain amount of cost, and then, if it goes any deeper than that, that's got to be something that has to be worked out.
Any way they could have a partnership with us on this well?
As far as monetary,
Yes.
I'm sure they're just willing. They're just wanting, yeah. I think that definitely so.
Private partnership, sometimes I like to see, like Dogwood and the rest of help finance this, and
I'll have something I'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting, and then I'll have all the statistics, and we'll get kind of a commitment letter from them on how much they can afford, and then, y'all can vote either way on it if that's the pleasure of the board, so.
I think it's a good program, and I feel comfortable moving forward.
Well, I don't know, it seems just by their email that they are a 501c3, but they're also a faith-based organization. And so it's harder to get, from that perspective. So, I think that they are mostly, I've not they've not given me their 990 report or anything like that, but I would suspect they get a lot of funding from churches, so.
Yeah, but you could tell by the board members, a lot of them are preachers. So.
Right.
Could we vote an opioid funding of money from that funding, supplemental uses, they, substance use, that
It'd be hard to do that.
Yeah, you would have to do it by the actual program itself and then let them supplant it to fix the problem, but it'd be kind of difficult.
Well, I think once we have a little bit more information, we'll have positive feedback from them.
Okay.
Moving on now to number 3 in meeting schedule.
So I wanted to bring this up just as a topic for y'all's discussion. We had mentioned having meetings in different locations, and then started to look at the utilization and trying to figure out, do we need 3 meetings a month? What the board's pleasure was on that. Normally in North Carolina, they usually have 2, one work session, one regular session, and then that's kind of the normal process. So I was going to see if if you wanted to switch it to the first and third Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. The first one being a work session, the second one being a regular session, and then rotating out either once quarterly or once every other month to a different location for the actual regular session. And then that way you can kind of pick up the entire county. So that was my thoughts, but it's for y'all's discussion.
For me, this is, I think that this is a good move to move it to first and third, and really kind of, I mean, my one thing would be, can we have an open public comment at the beginning of our work session? That way, we're not removing that that public comment aspect.
What about having regular meetings on first and third, making our work session, virtual session? Travel. No, basically does the same
Can we
thing.
do that? Can we do that? Virtual?
Yeah, we can discuss, but we're not voting on anything. We're just discussing.
You can, or you can have a work session before if you want to still have the regular session at the first of the month. You can have a work session before that, or just make it a part of your regular meeting. A work session is considered a regular meeting by statute, so, I mean, you don't have to call it a work session, you can just do it.
Yeah, especially for,
Makes it really late.
either makes it really late or early.
Me, I feel like the 1 o'clock meeting really kind of ties up resources and materials, and I would be inclined to do a first and third, as long as we can still have that public comment.
if you had a work session before a meeting, on that particular agenda like we have.
Right.
When it comes to the presentation of budget meetings, that's different. But can you put items, you had a 12 o'clock work session after one of those 2 meetings, and the meeting starts at 1, could you vote on things on that same day, or is there have to be a time?
You can vote anytime you want to, yeah.
So then we'd have to potentially change the agenda, which is not a big deal, but that would be done as well.
I think normally, kind of where you know, the first meeting of the month, it seems like, you know, you have your proclamations, that you may want to continue at the first part of the month, but then the rest of it seems like we could handle all that business on the third Tuesday, you know, everything else and trying to, and I guess it alleviates, you know, having a 30-minute meeting, you know, just coming out for 30 minutes.
Well,
My-
the
my-
other thing is, we, on, the first Monday, we can have a regular meeting for the proclamations and things like that, that's all we take care of. And then immediately followed by a working session.
You can.
Proclamations and stuff is gonna be really short. And that still moves our working session to the first of the month, and then that's the second.
And then we'd come to Tuesday, so it'd be Monday, Tuesday.
No, we just keep it Tuesday.
Keep it
I said,
Okay.
I meant Tuesday, yeah, sorry. We just have on Tuesday, on the first
Tuesday.
Tuesday evening,
Yeah.
we do the proclamations, just the short stuff.
Open up.
And then go into work session. Close the regular meeting, and go into work session.
And if there's anything immediate that we needed to do, to vote on. then we
Yeah.
could
It
do
still
it
gives
then.
the opportunity on that first.
I would be fine with that.
I
So
agree
it
with
goes into
Mark.
2
and-
meetings,
Yeah.
or
So you're down to 2 meetings.
two scheduled appearances down here, which
Right.
is kind of what we're.
Yeah,
Or, you know, we can move the third one to different locations, third Tuesday.
I think the quarterly is good, my
Yeah.
thoughts, because we have 4 districts. We can go to each district one time a year. And that would catch every district. And then as far as the 2 meetings goes, I think that's a good thing because, like Mr. King said, we're here sometimes for 15, 30 minutes, you know, and, which we were elected to do a job, and that's what we need to do. But if we can do all of it in one appearance, then why not? And I think too, if we have a big work session, we can schedule a special meeting. Well, I mean, can we not? I mean, if we have like a
You can call on
big
one.
issue or something that we need to discuss, we could, you know, call a special meeting. But I mean, like today, we could have handled all this, you know,
Prior to our
yeah, real
first
quick.
of the month meeting.
Consensus on the first and the third, with opening session on the first for proclamations.
What would be the
Public comment.
times, Mr. Chairman?
6:30. Kind of keep the meeting times the same.
Just make sure that public people who might have a conflict at that time of public comment.
I think if we opened up as regular meeting at 6, just like we usually do, open up regular meeting at 6, people can speak, you know, do whatever they need to do. We can pass our proclamations, and then we have our work session. I don't know if I guess we have to have a certain time for that. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, well, let's look into it. I think that there's
If that's the
mechanisms
case,
to make
then
it happen.
then we could go for just a short break, and then open that at 6:30.
TWASA meetings are the second and third Tuesday of the month. That's about that last Tuesday, or
It's
third
6:30.
Tuesday, at 6:30. So, that first Tuesday, there, I have any conflicts,
Right.
so that.
That's pretty much the only one we'd be changing. That's
No, the third Tuesday is the one where he has a.
That's
he
what
comes
I'm
in at
saying.
6:30.
Third
Would
Tuesday
change
would be-
it.
That one wouldn't change. It would
The
remain the
first
same.
Tuesday and third Tuesday will still remain.
And we could have a work session before, if needed, before that first meeting, but
Well, we would do a work session. We would have our proclamations. We'd open session at 6 normal time. Do our proclamations, public comment, and then move into our work session.
on the first Tuesday.
On the
So that
first.
still gives people 2 times a month to come in and make comments.
okay, and we would be able to vote on an item on that work session?
No, it would move to the third.
But we would have an opportunity if we needed to,
We-
at, yeah,
Make sure that's.
not during the work session, but during that proclamation time. Yeah, during the first.
Essentially having two meetings in the same,
So at the same time.
just condense.
But
it
most
there.
of our business would be put on the third
The voting-
Tuesday.
Voting
Yeah,
business is always on.
which is, I think, is a better. Some of that discussion that we have on the third Tuesday, it can be put off, and we can discuss everything on that first Tuesday. Third Tuesday is strictly voting, you know, new business, appointments, and things like that.
Since this is not a December meeting, if we need to have public comment at all on one of the 52 meetings.
Just start a
The only,
discussion.
required by law is only one time a month.
We would just make a change to our rules.
Yeah. Yeah, the rules of procedure really, I mean, every meeting that you have is considered a regular meeting, whether it's a work session or not. You're dictating that you're only gonna be working at this particular meeting. But technically, you could vote at a work session, but in your rules and procedures, you've identified that you're not gonna vote. See what I'm saying? So it's, but by law, you can technically vote in a work session. I mean, there's no,
You send out a public notice. At a work session, population work session.
it'd just be two meetings. You'll have a work session, or you'll have a regular meeting, and then you'd have a work session because you're letting the public know, hey, we're just talking about stuff. We're not gonna be voting on it. And that's by our rules and procedures policy. And then
I think
you
6
just
and
call it to
6:30.
order, adjourn order.
I think 6 and 6:30. I mean, or is that too long? Or 6 and 6?
I think that's applicable, but amount of time, it gives people time to get here.
Speak.
Yeah, and speak, and then
If we go
Proclamation.
over 6:30 doing the proclamations, that's not right.
but we schedule it for 6:30, and I
Yeah.
mean, we won't even turn off the live stream. It would just be closed session. Give people 5 minutes to exit if they don't want to sit and listen to
Yeah.
everything, and then right on into the next meeting.
Well, we've had in the past, on various boards, we had a 2 meeting kind of, so it's nothing new.
Nothing unusual, it's just,
Yeah, the only thing with that is I think if we had a 6 and a 6:30, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I think the attorney would say so too, but if we start at 6 with our regular meeting, our proclamation meeting, and we have a scheduled 6:30 meeting, we have to wait till 6:30. So we would go into, would we adjourn that first meeting? And then at 6:30, we'd come back out and go and start our,
the
Okay.
only way we could go directly meeting to meeting. is
yeah, if it was on time.
If it extended past 6:30.
John, could you put wording in there and it be legal if you said immediately following closing of first meeting, or would you want to remain with a time?
I believe a better practice would be, just because, this is an open meeting, to have it at a set time, so folks can know when that is going to happen.
So we could go, to the back 10 minutes,
Right.
whatever. I mean, what we need to do. I think it helps.
If I just, correct me if I'm wrong, if I process this wrong. Our rules that we have decided we don't vote on work sessions, that's what I heard you say.
Correct.
But yet we still could change those rules and vote on something if we needed to.
You can definitely work,
We can change
you
the
can
rules.
change it.
So if there's something hot that we need to vote on during that
I just
first
want to make sure
month
we can
thing,
do that.
we can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think that's good practice.
No.
Because if we're talking about something in the working session, it doesn't give the public time to comment before we actually vote on it.
It's really the same thing you're doing now. What you're doing the first one with the proclamation, then this week you're doing the work session for next week's session.
But what
All
he's
you're doing is
saying
taking that backwards and saying, we're going to talk about that.
Right, but what he's saying is during the working session, could we vote on something?
If something was important enough to vote.
One of the things that
Well,
Yeah, I don't think.
One of the things that we've seen is when there is something important enough to vote, like last week, Mike came with a grant application, had a time frame. There was no working session behind that.
Yeah.
But we had to agree to a percentage, and we made that vote pretty quickly. Just so that we were able to get that grant application in. So,
And something like that could be presented at our 6 o'clock time.
Right.
Proclamation time.
so we'll still have those opportunities in that first meeting to get those urgent need kind of votes done, and then close that session, move into the work session where it's not maybe necessarily we're gonna talk about something and vote. It'll give people that time to.
I just like
Think
the
on
idea of
skills.
having, being able to vote twice a month and not wait till the third Tuesday. That's-
Right. You'll still have that opportunity.
Okay.
We'll still have open a regular meeting at 6 o'clock on the first Tuesday.
I'm game.
Okay.
Good.
So
Yeah.
I
And
guess
then-
we'll ask Mr. King to bring that wording back to us, and then we'll make a decision.
Okay.
On
And then the other thing was on the meeting was, I think customarily the first meeting in July has been canceled.
correct.
Okay. So we'll just continue with that.
Yes.
We want a work session on that particular month.
That would be
We should probably change the rules and all, starting in August.
August 1st.
all right, moving on now to county attorney.
So, I think we've had an interim attorney since March of 2023, or maybe April of 2023. And Mr. Cubis has done a fantastic job and definitely working with T. Campbell on many of their different attorneys is very convenient and very helpful to the county. And so I think, at this point, just as a discussion, looking at maybe moving from that interim status to the full-time county attorney for John, and also bear in mind, we would still have access to the other attorneys in his firm. Just looking at that as a conversation and discussion at this point to see if y'all want to move on that at the next meeting to make him a full-time county attorney.
Will that be still a strictly hourly basis, or will there be a monthly retainer that we have to bill a minimum of so many hours?
It's as needed on an hourly basis, kind of like we are now.
And the rate stays the same.
Yes.
Just clarifying that word interim, it's now been a year.
Correct. It has worked out good since I've been here, and I think, staff really like it as well, and, we're reaching out more and more to talk about different things that county government does, and, his firm and him have a lot of knowledge, and it's really a good fit, I think.
Based on the market for attorneys, county attorneys, I feel really comfortable staying with T. Campbell and John.
I'd like to see what we've paid out within the past year and kind of get a comparison. I mean, you don't have to present that. You can email it.
Okay.
I don't care.
Sure,
I'll do that.
savings.
Yeah, I guarantee you.
Time we brought that up, there has been savings. We're full-time.
We're supposed to HR, make sure all their needs are being handled correctly.
Let's say having a full-time attorney is helpful in various meetings. Especially when it comes to the airport code. You have that expertise. I miss that a little bit when you come into a legal question. But it's more of a convenience,
Right.
than security blanket, I guess. But the savings for the taxpayer would help.
Well, I didn't know what to expect when we went with these guys, but they've been very, very good. Easy to reach out to, not that you know, maybe been under the same process as we have, but they've been good, and I appreciate what they've done.
We've been plugging them in more and more. This morning, actually, they were with the planning department going over the, some of their things that they're going to be bringing forth. And I think different department heads have been more engaged with them over the last month. I've been kind of letting them talk about their issues with them. So I think it's going to be good.
Now, would that, would the company, the business, law firm be the county attorney, or is one person specifically?
It would be John. Yeah.
And the department heads have access to John without your permission on the topic, or you authorize that?
Normally, they ask me if they can contact them, and I kind of go ahead and put a CC in, we just kind of bridge it that way. But no, I think that the more proactive you can be, especially talking to legal counsel, is the best for the county. Get them involved early on.
Any other discussion? I guess, we would need to see kind of the contract and how that works out.
Okay.
2 weeks ago. Any further business?
I mean,
No further business, I'll motion for adjournment. And second. All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Yes, yeah.